Don't act like you haven't done crap like this before. Smooth! We got this boat from a salvage yard in Mobile, Alabama, and pulled it home with my Ford F450. We removed the Mercruiser gas-powered engines so we can replace them with a set of Yanmar diesels I got from another salvage boat I bought out of Florida. This boat needs an overwhelming amount of work before she is ready for our Great Loop adventure. So join me on this series of videos to see if we can achieve our goals. Welcome guys to another episode of Junk and Treasures. Now if you guys are new to this channel, you know what we're trying to do is restore this old Silverton 322 just so we can take it on a Great Loop. Not only are we trying to restore it, we're going to put some Yanmar diesels in it too to get better fuel efficiency. Now I know you've probably been following me for the past 3 or 4 last videos where I've been kind of consistent on breaking them out. Well, the problem is life kind of hits you hard sometimes and I just can't do it sometimes. The last video you seen, we had a lot of snow and rain and cold weather. Of course, this episode now, we have t-shirts on. All last month, I've just had bam, 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 just things hitting me. We had the cold weather, obviously. I got sick. I'm still kind of trying to get over that. I had a huge influx of work come in that just had to be done. I gotta make money. My grandfather died up in Michigan, so we ended up having to go to Michigan last week for a funeral. And all that has really put me behind. In fact, I have not touched this boat in a month. And that is bad. You have no idea how bad that is. We are wanting to do the Great Loop in 2026. That doesn't leave me very much time to get this thing done. Earlier this week, we came so close just to saying, just the heck with this boat. It ain't gonna happen. There's just too much work that needs to be done. After almost pulling the trigger on a Carver out in Alabama and looking at borrowing money for it, I'm just like, oh, it just stresses me out going into debt over a stupid boat. So I just decided, okay, plan A was get this one ready. Plan B is, okay, let's go buy a boat. But now I'm on plan C. There is 2 major things on the Silverton that are very outstanding and very time consuming. One of the things I can't really do anything about, it just has to be done, which is getting those Yanmars ready, getting the transmissions rebuilt, and getting them back in this boat. Now we made a good amount of headway the past couple weeks, or the past couple episodes really, of us getting the bilge kind of rebuilt where we could get the motors back in. There's still a lot of work in the bilges that need to be done, but most of it could be just taken care of in a weekend. But number one, the biggest thing that this boat needs that is so time consuming is the amount of fiberglass and Gelcoat work it needs. I've already done a lot of it, but it needs a lot more. So that goes to plan C. I'm not going to restore this boat perfect. I just decided that's not something we're going to do. However, I am going to try to get it probably 80%. We're going to try to make the boat to look pretty decently and very mechanically reliable just to do the Great Loop. That being said, I'm definitely going to finish out what we see. There's some spots on the other side just below the dock rail that need to be fixed as well. It's not real bad. There's some spider cracking. So on this episode here, what we're going to do, since the weather's really nice, the temperature's where it needs to be, we're going to start on trying to finish up some of these repair work spots that we've done on the boat probably close to 6 months ago now. So I have this side right here, and I have the back section of this transom right here. Now, what happened here, where I ripped the factory swim platform off, they had 3M 5200 all across the back of it. And when I took it off, it literally ripped the gel coat and some of the fiberglass off the back of this. So unfortunately, I have to go back and just completely repair that. So enough talking, let's try to get some of this repair work done. I'll explain to you again what was going on here. There was a lot of spider cracking going along this whole side of this boat. This boat is either flipped or laid on its side or something. Something hard has been up against this boat. It has like really flexed the fiberglass. So what we had to do is we had to grind out all those spider cracks. There's just narrow spider cracks going down here, here, here. We had to grind all those out. We had to put some matting down in there. And that's kind of where I left it. And I need to get this done and covered up because UV will eventually deteriorate the exposed fiberglass. So that's kind of one motive behind, let's just get this done. All the fiberglass work is pretty much done. What I need to do is go back over this and sand it down, so let's make sure it's good and smooth. And then we just have to put some fairing compound on all this. So let's get started. Let's break out the old Bondo Buster and try to get this stuff smoothed out. All right, now that I got most everything smoothed out, ready for what they call the fairing compound. Now, if you're used to being in the body shop world, it would actually be called body filler. But that's basically when they say fairing compound for marine use and fiberglass work, that's basically what it is. It's just a body filler for boats. Now what I'm going to use is it's not really marine specific, but it has all the right properties for being able to use it on the boat. It's actually a poly based filler, and I just got it at my local body shop store. It was they had a deal on it, and I'm not saying this is something you need to use. Only this, they got much better products out there, but this will work. The chemical makeup will work just fine for what I'm doing. So let's get this stuff applied on the side of the boat. But man, that was a lot of work. You don't realize how much work it is just to spread that stuff on and actually make it somewhat uniform to where it's not gonna be a complete disaster when you sand it back off. Now we just wait for it to dry. All right guys, it is another day, actually the next day. As you can see here, I have another layer of body filler slash fairing compound on the Silverton. Now, one of the things I want to do is kind of keep you informed and share information on what I'm doing and why. Now, this last segment with putting product on this boat isn't exactly like textbook, but it will work. Now, the first stage was exactly textbook. All the spider cracks were ground out 2 inches past the crack. I used poly resin to fill in with glass mat to reinforce the spider cracked area. That was textbook. Now, what I'm doing here with the fairing compound is a little different than what most people in this industry would probably go about. Normally with fairing compound, people would buy just that. Probably go to like Total Boats or something and get the 1-to-1 meant for the side of a boat marine product. You mix together, fair it on, sand it off. Now the reason why I didn't do that, I didn't order any. And when I have a moment to work on this boat, I just have to jump on that moment and do it. I don't have like a week to wait on product. Like I can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna go work on my boat, so I'm gonna order some product, and a week later, let's do it. A week later might not happen. This video probably wouldn't be coming out for another month. I don't really have anywhere local I can go buy marine fiberglass product. The closest place is about 2 hours away. So I've been doing a little bit of research and working with a local auto body shop supply company to get some product that is properly formulated for doing what I'm doing. So chemically, I'm using the right product. Is it stamped marine? No. So a little bit of what I was doing is trial and error, not on the level of, oh, this is absolutely not going to work. As long as I'm using a polyester style filler on a polyester resin Gelcoat boat, I'm gonna be fine, especially if it's above the water line. What I'm doing right here, I do not recommend doing this below the water line. I picked up a couple different body fillers from the local paint store. And what I started with is seemingly good product. This is what I use to start with here. It's called Duraglass by USC. Now this is a polyester based body filler, which will chemically adhere to what is going on the boat just fine. However, this stuff is pretty heavy and pretty thick. It's great for like deep gouges, and if it need to be a little bit thicker, and it has a little less shrinkage. So if it needs to be applied a little thicker, this is probably a better stuff to go with. Now the downside of that, it was like sanding concrete. As much area as I have right there, it was a workout to sand that stuff back off. I'm kind of glad I did it because there were some areas that were a little bit thicker than others. It's a little bit peace of mind, even though it was a serious workout. But what I put up here now is also a polyester based material, also made by USC. It's the Elite Plus. That stuff is a lot lighter weight and a lot thinner and a lot easier to sand. So my final stages where I know it's not going to be very thick and I really need to just fair that stuff in really good, that's what I'm going with, or that's what I did. Again, don't use polyester based stuff below the water line. If you need to use a product underneath the boat below the water line, stick with the marine stuff. Like small repairs, this is good. I use this quite a bit. This is actually vinyl ester based product, which vinyl ester will stick and chemically bond just fine to polyester. However, vinyl ester is very water resistant. I want to say waterproof, but it's actually very, very water resistant. A lot higher than the polyester. I am tickled to death. That is smooth. I find the biggest and flattest tools to sand with. The larger surface area you have with a tool to cover big flat areas, the smoother it's gonna be. The tool I started out with, it's my good old Bondo Buster. I probably had this thing for 20 years. And this is an Ingersoll Rand 328B. It rotates and it's dual action. You can kind of see the action here. It's kind of like rotating around as it spins, but this is how it does. This thing will knock off some material really fast. I had it for like big jobs back in my body shop days for doing like big flat areas, like maybe a roof of a car or a big truck bedside or a church bus or something like that that just needed to be faired out. If you're in the body shop industry and you're looking for something like this, I strongly recommend it. This thing, I love it. This is a great tool. The very last tool that I used to run over the side of this boat, which really helped a lot, is my Hutchins dual action inline sander. This is also a tool I've had for many years, and like the Ingersoll Rand Bondo Buster, it is also excellent for big flat areas. It doesn't knock material off nearly as fast as the Ingersoll Rand, but this thing will really make a nice smooth surface, especially when it's operated right. So the next step here would be prepping this up a little bit better, taping it up, and start applying some gel coat. But first, we're gonna switch things up and tackle the other major thing that needs to be done with this boat, which is getting those Yanmars ready. Finally got that motor dropped off. This has been a very productive week. Now let's get the heck out of Rossville. So, one thing that we got to do to this boat that is still on the unknown is I have to go through these transmissions. I bought these transmissions to go behind the Yanmars because they're the correct gear ratio and they're very unknown. The guy told me they were good, but this one has a hole in it. So it rotates, or it did, and he said he didn't notice that until he took the mount off, which he actually gave me another case to go with it. So right now, I'm just assuming I could take the guts out of this one and put it in the other case. But since we got to have this boat completely reliable, I'm going to order some rebuild kits for these transmissions too. They're not cheap. However, they are cheaper than buying some good used ones. I have never taken apart a marine transmission before. I have taken lots of other transmissions apart, just not these transmissions. I'm assuming I possess the ability to do it, and there's information out there on the internet on how to do it. So let's open this thing up and see what we got. This bolt is so corroded. It was supposed to be a 16 millimeter. It is now a 15 millimeter. Don't act like you haven't done crap like this before. Good enough success. We got the head off. God dang, it's turning. Ooh. All right, so there might be some stuff there to work with. It's not like super crusty, but it's definitely not clean by any means. Most barely got any surface rust on it. Even the bearings, they're not that bad. I mean, it looks bad. If you can see this in the camera, they look kind of bad, but man, when you're actually feeling it, I don't feel any pitting or anything like that. I even run my finger around the race and stuff, but everything's still up in the air right now. I don't know. I need to see what the kits come with. I don't know if the kits just come with the basically the clutch packs and the seals, or if they come with the bearings too. If they come with the bearings, obviously that's a no-brainer. It's going to be a lot of work to pop all these apart and do all the clearances and everything like that, which I'm going to have to do anyway because I'm not going to use this case anymore for obvious reasons. It's completely destroyed. So this transmission here is going to need a lot of work. The other one is pretty clean. It doesn't look like it still has fluid in it and everything like that, but this one obviously got some sort of water in it. Who knows? But there you go. I don't know. I just wanted to pull that thing apart, and you're looking at it the very first time I'm looking at it. All right, so let's quit fooling around in the garage and let's get some Gelcoat on this boat. Sorry guys, that's just gonna have to wait until the next episode. Hate to be that guy.